Have you ever thought about how in English, we literally just have one word for you? I mean, whether you're talking to your best friend, a total stranger on the street, or the CEO of your company, the word stays exactly the same. It's just you. But what if the very word you choose to address someone could instantly reveal this massive, complex web of deep respect, casual friendship, intimate love, or even total disrespect? In a lot of languages, pronouns are heavily loaded with meaning, and today we're going to look at one of the most fascinating examples of this out there.
Welcome back. Today, we've got an incredibly insightful explainer lined up for you. We're diving deep into the cultural matrix of Urdu greetings and pronouns. We're going to see how learning some basic Urdu greetings actually serves as a brilliant window into the unspoken, intricate rules of South Asian social hierarchy. By the end of this explainer, you won't just know how to say hello in Urdu. You'll completely understand the rapid-fire social calculations happening behind the scenes every single time two people meet. All right, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the art of hello. Second, making a proper introduction. Third, the 3 levels of you. And finally, navigating some truly surprising cultural norms. Let's jump right in with Section 1, the art of hello.
Take a look at the Arabic script here, alongside the English transliteration for standard greetings. The 2 absolute go-to terms you're going to hear everywhere are adab and Assalam-u-Alaikum. Adab is a beautiful traditional formal greeting that essentially translates to hello, while Assalam-u-Alaikum means peace be upon you. Now, these aren't just tossed around casually like a quick hey, they carry a real weight of traditional politeness that instantly sets the tone for the entire interaction.
So once you've offered that formal hello, you naturally need a follow-up, right? In Urdu, asking kya hal hai is the standard, polite way to check in on someone. It translates directly to how are you? But if you look at the root words, hal actually refers to someone's condition or situation, so you're genuinely asking about their state of being. And to reply that all is well, you just say sub TK.
Moving right along to Section 2, making a proper introduction. Okay, let's look at the foundational building blocks we need to make an introduction, or ta'aruf, happen. You've got the word naam, which simply means name, and possessive words like mera, meaning my, and apka, meaning your. But pay close attention here. Notice that apka is specifically labeled as honorific or formal. Keep that tucked in the back of your mind because it's going to become absolutely crucial in just a minute.
So how do we actually deploy these phrases in real life? It's a basic Q&A. To ask someone's name formally, you say, Aapka naam kya hai? What is your name? And to introduce yourself, you just reply, Mera naam, your name hai. My name is. This simple little exchange is literally your passport into starting an Urdu conversation.
Now, this is where it gets really juicy. Section 3, the 3 levels of you.
We're shifting gears from what to say to the deep, unspoken sociocultural rules of how we address people. Welcome to the 3 levels of you. This right here brilliantly illustrates the cultural matrix we've been talking about. Unlike English, Urdu literally forces you to evaluate your relationship with a person before you even open your mouth to say you. You have to instantly gauge their age, their socioeconomic status, and how intimate you are with them. But get this, it doesn't just change the words you choose. This quick mental evaluation also dictates the corresponding facial expressions you need to wear to show the proper level of respect or intimacy. The 3 options you have to choose from are aap, tum, and tu. Let's break them down, starting with aap. This is a very formal pronoun. You're going to use aap for older people, respected members of the community, and folks of a higher socioeconomic status. Honestly, aap is your absolute safest bet. If you're meeting a total stranger or if you're ever in doubt, just use aap. It guarantees absolute respect and makes sure you won't accidentally offend anyone. And importantly, when you use aap, your face needs to reflect that formality. You want to maintain a respectful, polite, and composed expression. Definitely avoid any overly animated or super casual grinning here. Next up is tum. Tum is your middle ground. It's somewhat informal and is mostly used with your friends or people who are roughly the same age and status as you. But quick warning, don't just assume you can use tum right out of the gate. You generally want to wait to use it until you firmly establish that casual, friendly dynamic. And because tum establishes a more relaxed vibe, your facial expressions get to shift here too. Contrasting the stiff formality of aap, when you're saying tum, your expressions can be much more relaxed, animated, and openly friendly. And finally, we have tu. Now, tu is wild because it has this totally fascinating duality. On one hand, you might use it for someone much younger than you or someone of a significantly lower socioeconomic status. In that context, it creates a very firm boundary. But on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, tu is also used for the absolute most intensely intimate relations a human can have. You use tu when speaking to your own mother, and you use tu when praying directly to God. It totally strips away all formality, representing a bond so incredibly close that titles and polite respect are just no longer needed. And as you'll see here, depending on which you choose, the verb that follows it has to completely change to match that specific level of respect. Your status evaluation literally alters the core grammar of the sentence you're building. Let me slowly sound out these pairings for you so you can really hear what I mean. If you're going for the most intimate or informal level, you'd say tu hai. If you're using that middle, friendly level, it shifts to tum ho. And if you're keeping it formal and highly respectful, it becomes aap hai. So say you want to tell someone you are good. It's either tu acha hai, tum ache ho, or aap ache hai. The grammar itself is enforcing the social hierarchy.
All right, wrapping things up with Section 4, Navigating Urdu Cultural Norms. So, getting the words and the facial expressions right is really only half the battle. We also need to talk about the physical, unspoken rules. And here's a totally surprising fact for a lot of Western learners. Skip the handshake. When you greet someone with Assalam-u-Alaikum or adab, it's actually considered culturally odd to just reach out and grab their hand. Instead, you just make a polite hand gesture, usually bringing your right hand up toward your chest or face. And this is traditionally accompanied by a subtle little dip of the head and a warm, respectful gaze. That right there is the complete formal greeting. Now, sure, if you're in a super modern corporate skyscraper in a major city, you might see handshakes due to Western influence. But in traditional settings, hands off is definitely the rule.
Here's another really interesting norm. Let others lead the introductions. You know how in a lot of Western networking events, you're expected to confidently walk up to strangers, stick out your hand and say, "Hi, my name is." Well, in Urdu culture, you usually don't need to do that at all. The culture relies heavily on your host or a mutual friend to bridge that gap and properly introduce you to the room. And finally, seriously, brace yourself. Once you are introduced, expect some highly personal questions right out of the gate. Please, whatever you do, don't panic if a brand new acquaintance immediately asks if you're married, why you aren't married yet, or literally exactly how much money you make. In this culture, the boundary of what's considered private is just drawn very differently. Those questions, they're usually just signs of genuine warm interest rather than being rude. So what does this all mean? We've seen today how a simple hello in Urdu is so much more than just a greeting. It's a literal map of human relationships, age, intimacy, and status, hard-coded right there into the grammar and your facial expressions. So I'll leave you with this provocative thought. If language shapes how we view status and intimacy, how does your native language limit the way you see the people around you? And on a more practical note, who is the very first person Aap will practice speaking Urdu with? Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we'll see you in the next one.